Welcome to the last video of this course, Compensation and Benefits. So far, we have covered the concepts of compensation and benefits. We have learned about the objectives behind compensation and benefits. We have talked about what planning a compensation model means. We have learned factors influencing the compensation. We have understood types and components of compensation. We have talked about the laws around the compensation and benefits, and also talked about the trends that we see around compensation from 2021 onwards. The last chapter of this particular course is to talk about the unique compensation structure in India. So the unique compensation structure in India, as you do establish a salary structure, one of your first steps will be to calculate the cost to the company. Otherwise known as the net amount your business would invest in an employee. So to arrive at the CTC, the cost to the company, it includes the monthly salary components such as basic salary, reimbursements, and allowances. Annual salary components such as variable pay, gratuity, and annual bonuses. Depending on your geographical location, industry, and sector, this could look quite different from one employee to another. However, there are some common elements that define the typical compensation structure. They include the fixed compensation. Also known as gross salary, this functions similarly to base salary in another country. The point of this is to set a salary range that maximizes employee tax advantages while minimizing employer tax liability. This category can be further divided into two salary buckets. One is the basic pay. This usually accounts for 40 to 50% of the fixed compensation. Additionally, as a part of basic pay, employers contribute to both the employer provident fund and employee gratuity. Fixed allowances. So we talked about the fixed compensation, and now we are talking about the fixed allowances. Fixed pay and fixed allowances. Employers often also provide reward packages that employees can claim as income tax exemptions. They may include HRA. It can be claimed as an income tax exemption. This also accounts for approximately 50% of fixed employee compensation in a metro city or 40% in a non-metro city if the employee is renting. Leave travel allowance, a sum paid to cover domestic travels expenses, typically doesn't include food or accommodation. It's only the travel expenses within the country. Next is the conveyance allowance. It helps cover the expenses of commuting to and fro from work. Dearness allowance is what accounts for rising cost due to inflation. Medical allowance, a reimbursement for medical expenses. Meal allowance may be tax-free with vouchers. So these are the fixed allowances which reflect on your pay slip as a fixed component. However, it gives you an opportunity to be tax exempted for a certain amount of each category. The next that we are going to talk about is the fixed comp plus, which includes the benefits and services. In addition to fixed allowances, there are larger compensatory benefits that may be included as part of the pay structure. These include a work car that employee can enjoy for work and personal use, retirals, which includes their severance package payment as well as their employee provident fund contribution. And an employer may also offer variables, additional benefits, and stocks as part of the employee compensation packages. So we've talked about the fixed pay, the fixed allowances, and benefits and services. Then there are salary deductions. Another common cause for confusion is that employers also may have to deduct categories from the employee's salary before they can be paid. Common deductions are provident fund. Both the employer and employee must contribute 12% of the basic salary to this fund if the organization has 20 plus employees. So the provident, the employees share, the employees' contribution towards the provident fund, their 12% of contribution gets deducted from their salary, whereas the employer's contribution, 12% of the contribution goes to the provident fund. That doesn't reflect on the salary slip, but employees' contribution reflects as a deduction from your gross pay. Employees State Insurance Corporation. This is also required for organizations with 20 plus employees. Employers must contribute 4.75% of employees' gross salary, while the employees themselves must contribute 1.75. The Labor Welfare Fund. All employees are required to pay into this, although the amount varies on state by state basis. So as we spoke about the Provident Fund, the ESI contribution, the employee's contribution to ESIC is also shown as a deduction from the gross salary, and the Labor Welfare Fund is also a deduction. And the balance, as in the fixed pay plus the allowances, I'll show you here, which is a sample salary structure. So we have basic pay plus the allowances minus the deductions, which are employee PF, ESIC, labor. So A plus B minus C is your net pay. So this is, a overview of a sample salary structure, and these are the components of what includes in or what would reflect in your salary slip. And in most of the organizations or within India, this is a usual or a generic salary structure that is used. While it may differ from a person to person in a different role, industry to industry, and state to state, but more or less this is how it looks. So I hope the content of these videos have been useful to you. It gives you a good understanding of what compensation and benefits mean, what are the components, why is it important, what are the laws around it, and everything that a comp and ben specialist need to know. As usual, my recommendation is to go deeper into the subject, read, research, talk, and do whatever it takes to be more aware of, what is being practiced and what are the latest updates under this subject, because this is really, really crucial to the organization and to the employees as well. So wish you all the best and have a great learning on the subject. Thank you so much.